Welcome to the Fabric of the Month Club number 2. We are sending you our brand new, hot off the press, snowflake prints, 2 of them. Yay, we finally got them. So there's half a yard of each of these and half a yard of solids, fog and sand. And then we're also sending you some uncoated sand fabric so that you can make napkins that go with everything. There's a great tutorial on our website by Becca. She's a fabulous teacher, and she goes through how to make indestructible do-it-yourself placemats. So we thought that would be a good thing to do this season because they'll be useful for the months ahead. So here we have 4 half yards of laminated cotton, and I'm thinking that I'm going to put these 2 together, fog and the gray snowflake, and sand with the red snowflake. So there'll be 4 of these, 4 of these. The problem I always get when I'm trying to figure out what to do with my fabric is how to lay it out in the most efficient way. And that's what I'm going to show you today with this batch of fabric for the Fabric of the Month Club. And so that you don't go around in circles about how this is going to work out. First, what you want to do is lay it all out. So I'm leaving a fold here. So there's a fold along one side. And then I'm lining up, oh, let's see, this one's a little bit longer, huh? So I'm lining up at the bottom edge here on something that I know is square, which is this line here at the edge of my mat. So I'm lining up this line here. 1, 2, 3, and I'm keeping the fold over there. It doesn't really matter because what I'm going to do is plan to make the placemats go crossways. Let's see. So if I have this bottom edge, I know this is square. So then all I have to do is cut a square piece here. I mean a square line here, a square line here, and one right in the middle. And then I'll cut them all so that they're even along this far edge. And then I'll be able to start sewing. So the placemat will be basically this shape, right? So it'll be about 18 inches wide and let's see, 13 and a half, 13 and a quarter, maybe 14. So we'll see what we get. Now we're going to start sewing, and maybe he will stay away from this machine. We'll see. So these are the placemats. They're 13 3/4 by 18 inches. And I think that will make a great size. And you can get 4 of each combination as a reversible placemat, okay? So all you have to do is put right sides together. You can pin if you want. It's okay to pin through this fabric, it really is. Or you can clip. I have clips too, but I pin through them just to make sure. Actually, I don't usually pin because I just hold it together, but you do whatever you're comfortable with. So you sew around the edge. So these 2 pieces are together, the fog and the gray snowflakes, and you sew around the edge, all 4 sides, but you leave a little gap. so that you can reverse it. You can turn it inside out and then sew that bit closed when you top stitch. When you sew this, your top stitching, see how these are kind of, they're not all the way to the seam. You have to open this out so that it's completely flat and make the top stitching extremely straight on the top of it. Otherwise, you'll notice any little puckers or strange blips. So you've got to really keep this edge. And what I do is I just line up the edge of my, what's this called? The presser foot with the edge of the fabric, and I just watch it really closely, and I try to stay on it for the whole length of the seam, and then I put the needle in, turn the corner, and go around the rest of it. And when you get to the opening, there'll be where this opening was, you'll just top stitch over the top of that, and it'll catch both sides, and the fold will be there, and so it'll be totally fine. Another little trick is to iron our fabric. Just set your iron to a low setting. This is 1 dot. You know, this iron doesn't go as hot as some of them, but, and it's sticky. You know, when you iron it, it's a little bit sticky, but don't worry about that. It's not gonna burn it. We've used it for hot pads. In fact, I'd recommend if you have some splash fabric left over, it's really fun to make hot pads for the holidays. They make really good gifts, and it's unexpected because a hot pan out of the oven actually does not burn it. We've used it to take casseroles out or something hot, and they're really good. I use just batting in between the layers, and you know, it's tougher than you think. It's an indestructible do-it-yourself placemat. You know, and if it has some folds here, if you don't like those, just iron them out. Just do it. Don't leave it sitting on, you know, oh, there's something coming out of here. Okay. Don't leave it sitting any one place for very long. Just move it around so you can get those little creases to relax. It's really forgiving stuff. And your guests, or you, or somebody you know, could spill on it, and it's fine. And you can throw them in the wash. Okay? And if you have a problem, let me know. The fabric that is uncoated is enough to make at least 9. You can make 9 pretty good sized napkins. If you want to make 14-inch ones, you would fold the fabric into quarters. But if you want them to be a bigger size, 14 inches just is really tiny. That's what I made first off, and it's just not very big. But you can make a lot more if you make them 14 inches. They're more like a cocktail napkin, I guess. But if you fold the fabric in thirds, we basically are giving you 1.5 yards, which kind of makes a huge square. So you fold it into thirds and make it as wide as possible that way for 9 napkins. And then you can have some real good size, real good, bigger napkins, okay? So the napkins that we make for sale are 20-inch napkins, or 20-inch napkins, I think they are. So let's see. These are two, I just folded the bottom up. So now we have, see, this is quite a bit bigger. This is if you fold it in quarters, you get this size, 14 inches. But now in thirds, yeah, these will be 18, close to 19, if you do it very carefully and get all the inches. Like I say, I want you to get all the inches out of our fabrics. Okay, so here I am at my serger, the one I got at Sew Expo. What I'm going to do is sew down straight on the edge of the napkins and then pivot at the corner. I found that it's really hard to not make a square corner. If you wanted to make a curved corner, it's really hard to get the serger to do that evenly all the way around. So I go to each corner and pivot, and then when at the end, the fourth corner, I overlap and then I cut it really tight. But if you don't have a serger, I will also show you how to do it with a hem, with a folded hem. Okay. If you don't have a serger and you can't do this hem, you can just do a simple rolled hem. So the way you do that is you fold 1/4 inch of the fabric over, and you try to make it, you know, as even as possible. I can leave my iron there for a sec while I get the next little few inches ready. So the only problem with this is when you get to the corner, it's going to be pretty bulky, and so I would say you're going to want to put, you're going to want to snip that corner a little bit. So I would say, you know, that you could sew that down. But if I hold it here and kind of pull it, then I can make it pretty even. So I would take this apart and just snip a little bit at a 45-degree angle off of there. Yeah, that's a little nicer. Whew, yeah. So, you know, you got 9 of these to do. So get the music going, get a movie on, and crank them out. And you've got enough to keep them all or give some away. Alrighty then, top stitch in white, and it's golden. I almost forgot. Another option that you can use your fabric for is to make a table runner. The reversible table runners, it's basically the same thing. It's just a placemat, except for it's longer. And so you take the 18 inches of fabric and the full width of the fabric, and which is about 56 inches by the time you cut off anything that's not laminated on the edge and the selvage. And you do the same thing. You sew it together, you reverse it. It kind of turns into a balloon while you're trying to get it sorted, the right sides out. And then the funny thing is that it blows up just because it's waterproof. And then the hardest part of the whole thing is just making sure that this edge is fully exposed. Like the actual stitching is as close to what you're sewing as your top stitching as you can get it. Does that make sense? You want this to be flat. Okay, so I did this one, which is the two snowflakes, which is wild and fun. And then I did this one, these two together, sand and fog. And then tomorrow I'm gonna get Sarah, who's learning how to sew, to do the top stitching. And so this would be for a very plain, something that you want it to be serene. So sand and fog or snowflakes, you pick.